Welcome to Nottingham Hockey Centre. As you can see from the camera and you can see from the raindrops coming in front of the screen, it's another wet day here at Nottingham Hockey Centre, but hopefully we can brighten everyone's afternoon with live coverage from the Premier Division of English hockey. The men's competition, Beeston versus Wimbledon. We are moments away from the start of the game. Camera currently focusing on the Wimbledon team warming up. With me in the commentary box is Steve Musson. What are you looking forward to most today?
Well, I think this is obviously one of the best sides in the league that Beeston are up against today. There's some quality players in Wimbledon's setup. I'm interested to see whether the young lads playing for Beeston can work out how to cope with the passing game that they didn't have last week, retain a bit more possession than they did, but they're going to have to do that against, as I say, some very experienced and strong players in Wimbledon.
So a quick look around at some of the other things going on. We'll have a quick look at the league, shall we? As it stands, Surbiton topping the pile. It's not confirmed yet that they'll win the league, but it is looking very much nailed on for Surbiton. Today's visitors, though, in second place. Realistically, they're the team that could potentially challenge Surbiton. Obviously, things have got to go a few different ways, but Wimbledon had a great season so far.
They have. I mean, you look at their goals tally, Andy. I think, to see so many goals scored in some of the games by Wimbledon shows you that they are on a par with Surbiton. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out when they get to the playoffs later in the season.
A look at the other games. So there are two 2 o'clock starts. Surbiton, Brooklands, Manchester University. Big game for Brooklands, Manchester University today. Obviously, Beeston Wimbledon is our feature game on BeeTV. At 3:30, Hampstead and Westminster play Exeter University. Old Georgians play East Grinstead at 6 o'clock, and at 6:30, Holcombe will be playing Reading. Big day for Reading in the Premier Division as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's getting very, very close to the end of the season. They are adrift at the bottom. It's been a dreadful season for them, really. Holcombe away, not an easy fixture either, so Reading will be trying their very, very best to get something out of that to give themselves at least a shout.
From that perspective, officially Reading, knowing that a loss to Holcombe and victories for Brooklands and University Exeter will ensure a 10th place finish, obviously. But just to let you know, that's the detail, and that's what Reading hope doesn't happen today. So that's the way things are looking in the men's competition. For the women, things are looking like this. It's a cracking result as well. Buckingham 0, Beeston 1. Courtney Chanel's goal, the difference. So Beeston have already started the day with 3 points in the bag from the women's competition. They are at a strange point in the game, according to Altius here. Hampstead and Westminster 0, Surbiton 2, at some point in the game.
Yes.
Holcombe, Clifton Robinsons, that's a 1-0 away lead for Clifton Robinsons, and they've just begun Bowden versus Birmingham University. Massive game, that one. A high risk for Bowden today, so Bowden defeated here last weekend, hoping things go right for them. They're in warm-up as well at 2 o'clock, Loughborough Students, East Grinstead. So it's looking like 3 away leads at the moment as well.
Yeah, great result for Beeston as well. That's not an easy one to have got there. They must have played very well.
Also on your screen there, something that wasn't available a week ago. Bowden Hightown deducted 3 points for fielding an ineligible player. So if you've done the maths and wondered why 3 wins and 3 draws comes you up with 9, that's the reason. So plenty of action today. We'll keep you up to speed with what's going on. A week ago, if you were watching BeeTV, you would have seen a classic here at Nottingham Hockey Centre. You would have watched Beeston versus Exeter University, and this is the way that game played.
There is there'll be no drop-off in pace or intensity from them. They'll work hard right the way through the game.
It's a diagonal ball, nicely taken down in the circle. Chance here. It's been picked up, and that is
in the corner.
On the edge of the circle, we've got 6 players. 4 around the edge and a little bit further
Richard
back.
Lawrence is in there. I'm interested to see whether they might use him. Here we go.
It is Lawrence, low and into the goal.
Yes.
And it looks like Griffiths, who has
deflected.
Touched it in.
Yeah, reverse stick deflection. Now that's an opportunity there. Ollie Willars missed the trap. The ball fell loose in the D. Little dangerous bits and bobs like that. Take care on the basics.
With the ball, James Ferguson plays it out to the left-hand side, into the circle, looking for something, and that has been found. Obvious collection of players around the edge of the circle, but that is not necessarily where the ball's going to go. It could go shallow. Bit of movement. It is going to the centre, played in, and that is the equaliser. Celebrating is Sam Hooper.
Well, he's
15.
He's already scored. In his mind, the injury he had. So that's a great start. I would imagine he'd been played sparingly, but to get the goal, brilliant.
Here come Exeter University, and that's a penalty corner.
Yeah, this is costing Beeston a bit, this left side of the D for the attackers.
Penalty corner in a couple of minutes of play here. So all eyes, you can see the tall figure of Sam Hooper.
Need the number 1 runner to get this right, get his line right here.
Another shuffle to the left, same player again. That's an excellent, excellent save from Simon Hudge winning the Beeston goal. It's into the circle, bobbling around. Exeter will clear it away and into space. It did come off a foot, and that is a Beeston ball looking to go very quickly again. Potentially a little bit too quickly, but possession is maintained. And that's a big pull.
Corner, yeah, they've...
Towards the centre, taken down nicely. Goalkeeper has to come out and clean everything out and gets a solid boot on it. It's come back to Joe Sharp. Sharp out to the right-hand side. Flicked up 3D skills and into the circle. Shooting opportunity.
Oh.
Goalkeeper does extremely well with the left foot.
Great first-time shot, but the keeper again.
Turned over on halfway and won back again very quickly with it. Toby Stanley. Towards the baseline goes Chris Proctor. Proctor turns, tries to whip the ball in. It's loose and fired across the face of goal. Hands to his head. All the it has been kept in very close to the corner flag.
Speed with which Adam Dixon got to that ball. Again, a lesson for the other defenders to work very quickly onto the ball.
And that is a penalty corner for the away side. First of the second half. We already know around the outside, so we've got Sam Hooper, and just a little bit further back is Kieran Walton. Will there be a shuffle? No, it's going to be a static one. It's been slipped back in, it's bouncing, it's a swing, and it's a miss.
Yeah,
involved again, Matthew Cruikshanks.
He's probably getting tired. He's done more work than anybody on the pitch this quarter.
Certainly he's been very, very busy. He's moved in from the left-hand side to a more central position, and Beeston look for that penalty corner and have it.
I think that if there's a goal in the next 5 minutes, whoever gets it's going to end up the winner. Is Proctor on a good run here?
Proctor passes the ball through.
Oh dear, just forwards really.
Richard Lawrence just couldn't bring it under his spell.
Basics at that point, you really have to be focused on.
Halfway. Who's up there in a black shirt to support? It's been nipped off him, so it's a sideline ball for Gleeson. Gleeson plays it along first time.
Skills from Chris Proctor.
Proctor towards the circle, and that's a big appeal, and it is a penalty corner with 90 seconds on the clock.
And make sure that they can beat, they'll get a flick off ahead of that number 1 runner.
So Dixon slightly further back, Lawrence resting on his stick as well. So 2 obvious candidates there. The trap is good, Dixon low, and it is! It's a winner for sure! They have done it.
Well, another
Hockey Club. Representing Beeston, number 1, sponsored by Playfield Trade Windows Limited, Simon Hudge. Number 4, sponsored by Air IT, Ollie Williams. Number 6, sponsored by Trent College, Robbie Gleeson. Number 7, sponsored by the Beehive Hockey Shop, Gareth Griffiths. Number 8, sponsored by Repton School, Joe Sharp. 11, sponsored by Daybrook Services Limited, Henry Croft. At 12, Alex Brumfield. Number 14, sponsored by Riley Wealth Management, Captain Adam Dixon. 17, sponsored by Lawrence Trucks and Machinery, Richard Lawrence. At 18, Toby Stanley. 19, Lucas Will. 21, sponsored by Office Innovations, Chris Proctor. At 22, Sam Apula. 23, Matthew Cruikshanks. 26, Elliot Barton. And 37, Morgan Nails. Representing Wimbledon, James Beeston, Ben Arnold, Ben Sibley, Henry Wheeler, Lorna Hardy-Kelly, Ed Hurler, Don Bowden, Ian Sloan, Mikey Hall, Phil Roper, Dylan Swinton, Ben Francis, Tom Barrett, Alvaro Portugal-Munoz, Lee Smith, and Jack Roller. Those are your teams. Come on, you Bees!
So we've introduced you to the teams quickly. Can we pop up the match day 16s? We'll have a look there. So starting for Beeston today, very settled side for Beeston. Simon Hujwan, Ollie Willars, Robbie Gleeson, Gareth Griffiths, Joe Sharp, Adam Dixon, Richard Lawrence, Toby Stanley, Chris Proctor, Matthew Cruikshanks and Elliot Barton starting for Beeston. Highlights for you in the Wimbledon team?
Well, the three previous Beeston lads in there, Ben Arnold, we've got Tom Barrett in there and Mikey Hall, all played at Beeston. It's good to see them before the game, so hopefully they won't play too well today.
Indeed. So it's Beeston in the black shirts attacking towards the right-hand side of your screen. Wimbledon in the light shirts attacking to the left. And it is Wimbledon that get us off and away. Instantly to the air and to the left-hand side. And that's a great ball, instantly finding space. Wimbledon full of energy on the ball. Henry Weir lays it backwards to Dylan Swampole, who's lifted that ball forward. That's taken a touch off Ian Sloan and that's drifted out of play. I
think this will be a feature of Wimbledon today. They are very aggressive, particularly all the forward players progressive from start to finish, and they're very good with Mikey Hall controlling things at the back, at pushing the whole 10 outfield players forwards to restrict Beeston's outletting, and you can see that happening already.
Always find something to talk about the weather. We had a torrential little bit of a spell 10 minutes before play began. Now it seems to be a lot better. One thing doesn't need to happen today, it's watering the field of play. Yes. Wimbledon take the ball, cross halfway. Promising run this. Nice turn. Phil Roper plays the ball into traffic and Beeston have possession.
Yeah, they'll want to keep that possession high as they can, really, because they don't want Wimbledon dominating possession as well as other things. So
Steele in the middle of the park here. Wimbledon, a little bit of an overload on the left-hand side. Roper plays the ball across the face of goal. No one's there to tap it in. Beeston survive.
Yeah, turnovers will be costly for Beeston, particularly because of the pace at which Wimbledon restart or counter-attack. It's going to have to great care on the ball and make sure that passing is accurate, because they had that issue a little bit last week against Holcombe.
Into the circle it goes and all the way through.
Be good organised marshalling from Ollie Willars in defence, making sure that everybody knows what they're doing, because you can see how high Wimbledon are pressing straight away.
A couple of statistical points for you to think about. It is league leading scorer Ed Hall at number 9 for Wimbledon. 22 goals for the season so far. He's not scored in 2 games that he's featured. So he's either scored, not scored. So that's he did not score last week against Reading. So pretty much you can, on his form,
yes, he's
due a goal.
Prolific, I think is the word, and he's a very dangerous player. But of course, their second highest goal scorer in Ben Francis as well. I mean, they've got some right goal scorers in their team all the way through.
So Wimbledon dominating things early on, coming up to the 3-minute mark. Swampole.
Yeah, good tracking back from Elliot Barton there. Just stopped that progression down the left flank, which again, it's something we talked about last week against Exeter, who were very good at getting high on their left-hand side, and they've obviously talked about that during the week. Again, a bit of pressure there to stop that move, and that's worked well.
Beeston come away with the ball on the right-hand side. That's just been out of range for control. Bit of a shame, that.
Yeah, very much, because that little bit of link play there is what Beeston are going to need to have today.
Wimbledon moving it very neatly around the attempted trap that Beeston were laying, and they've come away as far as this, and they have a free hit in a dangerous position.
I think Adam Dixon taking the view there that he might as well break up what was happening.
Into the circle. Umpire watching it. It's a defensive hit.
Good defence there. Nice and low, strong on the ball, and that's worked out well. There's Chris Proctor on the ball. His travelling skills have been pretty much a feature of his game this season, and unfortunately that's not paid off, but dangerous for Beeston at times if he can get himself into free space and put good runs against defences.
That's a nice step across as well. Running with it, Adam Dixon. He's come a long way and finds a teammate.
I think the nice thing about that there, Andy, is that Chris Proctor, who had given the ball away up the pitch, has done the work, and he was responsible for winning it back again, so good effort on his part.
Lawrence did try to find Proctor again, but only found the sideline. Wimbledon get us going again from the side. Just a reminder, if you're not familiar with league play in England, it will be two periods of 17.5 minutes in the first half and an equal in the second half as well. So 4 quarters of 17.5 minutes. And I think it's going to be a tough day for Beeston, big test for them.
Yeah, I think got to be careful and got to be good in all departments. The young lad's perfectly capable of playing a good game, but connections very important.
Nice control on the sideline, taken down quickly, but it's been stolen back by Roper. Roper, who's had a very lively first 5 minutes. It's in towards the circle, played in, and that's flashed across the face of goal. And I think that was Ed Hall's first sight of goal.
Well, a little bit of a warning there for Robbie Gleeson. He was caught twice there in that little phase of play, and he has to be much stronger on the ball than that.
That is the player currently making a nuisance of himself in a white shirt, number 9, Ed Hall, league's leading scorer.
Same.
2 hat-tricks in 3 weeks, 3 match days to be precise.
Both left back and right back caught out in a very short space of time there, giving Wimbledon possession in a strong part of the pitch. I hope they take heed of that.
Swampole turns, makes space for himself. Wimbledon making it look very easy at the moment. In towards the circle, Adam Dixon steps in very well, takes the ball out of relative danger. Beeston playing it quickly out of defence now. How quickly can they get it forward and maintain possession? And it's not the case.
No, it was nice, a little bit of play at first.
In towards the circle, this could be a chance here, but the umpire has indicated the defensive hit.
Yes, already quite a lot of scrambled defence going on from Beeston here, and it's all as a result of probably unnecessary turnovers. It's important that they keep moving that ball forwards and get it off the stick, stay out of range of Wimbledon players.
Mentioning goal scoring, Wimbledon have scored in every single league game this season. So that's worth remembering as well. So that's the job that the home side are up against. Who's going to give Wimbledon problems the other way from Beeston?
Well, I think Chris Proctor's form this season, running with the ball, as we say, against defences has been dangerous. I think that's a possibility. I think getting through the midfield, Robbie Gleeson, who's playing at right half today as opposed to in the midfield, he's got pace down that flank, but he has been caught out a couple of times already in this game, so...
Roper's ball across, intercepted, and this could be a decent opening for Beeston. Over halfway into the final quarter of the field, it's spread out to the right-hand side, but just beyond the end of the stick, and the umpire has indicated that's going to be a Wimbledon ball, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Samapula travelling quite well there. It was he was tackled a couple of times en route, but kept the ball, didn't quite connect. Good closing down by Robbie Gleeson there, and well stepped in by Joe Sharp.
Wimbledon just seem to be a little fraction ahead of the thought of their opponents today. That is an awful long way to go, and that's a decent interception. Strong running.
Morgan Males there, yeah, very good.
Sharp with a give and go, and receives it again, just in front of the camera here. Inside ball. Not a lot of support to the left as far as I can tell, so everything's going out to the right. Gleeson, this is better.
Good play.
Into the circle, Beeston seemed to go. That's hit a foot free hit there. Proctor into the circle. And that did go pop up into the air, and this time it is off Alex Blomfield, and it's a defensive hit for.
I think that's how Beeston need to play. Confidently, positive, looking for any space to get through, take the ball through and make those high connections. They had a good little phase of play there. And so now their emphasis needs to be on winning the ball back as soon as possible and having another go at it, playing with that level of confidence and pace, and see if they can make an impact.
Right then, let's have a quick look at things as we're into the 10th minute of the first quarter. It's been end to end. I think the closest we've come to a goal has been that Ed Hall flash across the goal.
Yeah, good width. It's unfortunate that that's not quite worked. Well worked by Henry Croft to get back on that.
Well won back by the visitors, and it's well stepped in, kept in play just in front of the cameras. Adam Dixon races forward with the ball. Is he going to go inside? He does. He's into the circle. Flicked it, and it is in. What a goal! Adam Dixon has given Beeston the lead.
Exactly the point we were making. Be prepared to run with it. Obviously, Adam Dixon's quite capable of doing that. But that little lifted finish into the roof of the net, great to see. And it's all because of this work rate and the connections there. Good pick-up from Adam Dixon.
Look at that. I don't think the goalkeeper was anticipating that, but what a finish on a tight angle.
Great finish. Alex Bloomfield's work there as well, running away from Adam to give him the space, took the defender with him, created a little opening for Adam to get through.
That puts Adam Dixon onto 9 for the season, equal top scorer now at Beeston with Chris Proctor. So I think that's his first goal from open play, if memory serves me correctly. And Beeston could be in again here. It's around the outside, goalkeeper comes down, umpire's right on it. It's still in a danger zone for Wimbledon. A little bit surprised here, but they have come away with possession.
Well, the work rate's high from Beeston. They've recognised that they've got to really step up that intensity of certainly the defensive work. They've worked back into shape well here, because Wimbledon will create these openings.
Stung by that goal from Beeston. That's loose in the centre. Hudgwan is down and low and blocks well. He did well to keep the ball in play as well.
He watched that well. It was good. He was completely smothered the potential opportunity that Wimbledon forward had there, which is what he's going to need to do. He's going to need to be as active around that area between the goal line and the penalty spot for the close-up stuff. I think with outletting, when you look at situations like this with a high press from Wimbledon, sometimes just the easy route, pass it to your right half, pass it forwards. You need to get it away from these forwards, particularly with their reach and their ability to take the ball off the stick.
Confidence, a major factor in hockey, as we've seen over the recent weeks, the ebb and flow of a game. Racing on the confidence at the moment.
Definitely.
Things are looking up for Beeston. Let's see how they can maintain it. Wimbledon will come back strongly for sure. That's without any doubt. Mikey Hall lofts the ball. It's taken down. Strong run. That's another good save. Low to the goalkeeper's right. Simon Hudgwan on.
Yeah, the pace of these restarts, Beeston need to be very quick and very settled early. Again, they need to be ready here because this will be a quick restart. Talked about high-pitched transfers. Wimbledon able to do that here. They're in Beeston's half.
Defensive hit. The Wimbledon players thought they might have got a penalty corner out of that, but that was not to be.
I'd like to see Beeston cotton on to the fact that they need to take this ball away, certainly beyond the 25 and certainly beyond the halfway line as quick as possible. Really, they don't want the pressure that can lead to these risky moments in the D.
Couple of interchanges being made on the sidelines, just in front of the camera here. Looks like it could be 3 for either side. A quick look at those substitutions happening. Of course, unlimited substitutions available to both teams.
Yeah, Chris Proctor's had his first breather of the game, so they'll be keen to get him back out there. Beeston just dropping back into, we talked about it last weekend, of the half-court press where the whole 10 outfield players are in their own half. Trying to narrow the options for Wimbledon to find ways towards the D.
Lifting it to come a long way, strong stick on it to take it down, and the umpire finds in favour of the defensive team. Into the air again, and it's gone a long way, and that's a great ball down. Can it be kept in play? It is. Well watched by the umpire as well, and it's going to come off. 26 Elliot Barton, all action Barton here. Now here is a chance to shoot. It's still in possession from Barton. To the baseline. Long corner.
Yeah, good work from Beeston. They need to probably try and see if they can upgrade that to a corner.
And that's gone through everybody. 14 minutes completed. Beeston 1, Wimbledon 0. You're watching live Premier Division hockey in England, live from the Nottingham Hockey Centre, courtesy of BeeTV. It is, you don't often get to say this, the 29th of February 2020.
Yes. The two styles of play quite interesting and quite easy to see, really. Wimbledon's build-up play, very particular. They have the possession in this phase of the game, but it is leaving opportunities for Beeston's counter-attack game, which is certainly how Adam Dixon got the goal, and one or two other plays that Beeston have come through counter-attack play. So quite different styles.
We've looks like we've got a missing match ball, so time is stopped while we go and retrieve it. Don't believe we've got a ball patrol today, and to be honest, if someone had offered me ball patrol in this weather, I would rather watch the game at home, courtesy of BeeTV, if I'm honest.
Just noticed Graham Griffiths looking at anything that goes off the pitch, any ball off the pitch, seeing as his new car's just been hit on the bonnet by a hockey ball.
And we are back with the ball. Clock now is running. Wimbledon set and looking to win the ball back high up the field. Beeston trying to play it out of harm's way, and they've done that.
Done well there.
To Morgan Males, who's on the halfway. Check inside. Barton. A lot of trouble to get to where he is, and he's just been stripped of the ball. And he's won it back. No, he has a free hit.
He's done well to keep that, just needs to be sure that that's what he's going to do. You don't want to turn the ball over in that midfield part of the pitch. It's comes back towards your D very quickly if it's lost at that point.
Just not kept in play.
Yeah, could have done with being hanging on to that there. That was a decent position to make sure you kept the ball. Back to the pattern again, Beeston dropping towards that half-court defensive setup.
Lifting it towards the circle, taken down neatly. Towards the baseline. Push one with his feet. Blocks the attempt on goal. How many teams would Wimbledon have faced that have played like Beeston have done today?
Well, I think it's an interesting, as we say, contrasting styles. Really, I think that I was interested that Reading, who have had such a difficult season, played them at the best tempo that they could and managed to restrict the scoreline and keep it tight for a while. So I'm sure the Beeston coaches have looked at that, but they've recognised also it's going to be hard work for Beeston to make sure that they can break down the Wimbledon attacks.
21, Alvaro Portugal Munoz. And are we heading off there? We've had the first quarter completed.
Interesting timings there, a bit out, I think, aren't they?
Well, I think if anything, it's our clock.
Yes, I think that's right, yeah.
But
well, I think that's been a fascinating quarter, Andy. I mean, we've seen obviously that great finish by Adam Dixon. I've been interested how often Wimbledon have thrown aerials to the baseline. and that's something that Beeston are going to have to look out for. They just need to get defenders in under that to make sure that they can claim the honour of receiving the ball. So that's something I'm sure they'll just mention. And also the way Beeston have played progressively has been good.
So there is on your screen the end of the first quarter. Beeston 1, Wimbledon 0. Adam Dixon's goal, and a fine finish it was. It separates the sides. But before that point, it was more or less all Wimbledon. So 3 quarters still to play. A quick look at the other games which may have started. Surbiton Brooklands is 1-0. Surbiton are ahead by that single goal. All the other games yet to start for the women. This is the way things look there. Earlier on today, Buckingham 0, Beeston 1, Hampstead and Westminster 0, Surbiton 2. In fact, yes, Hampstead and Westminster 1, Surbiton 2. They're into the third quarter there. Holcombe 1, Clifton Robinsons 1, Bowden Hightown 0, Birmingham University 1. Very, very bad news for Bowden as things stand. Loughborough Students 0, East Grinstead 1. So that is the way things stand in both the men's and the women's Premier Division. So the Bees are making their way out. You can see Wimbledon getting their final instructions as they make their way out for the start of the second half. William Tells giving it maximum. And that's our 2-minute quarter time break. Beeston 1, Wimbledon 0. Umpires doing their final checks. Match delegate says that we are all set and ready to go.
Well, we did mention that Simon Hudjwan in the Beeston goal is going to need to be on his game today, and he's made 2 important saves in that first quarter. I'm sure he'll have the same to do in this quarter as well. Beeston's work rate, I think, was a feature. Thwarted some of the Wimbledon build-up play.
Wimbledon on the attack, on the off, and that's a defensive hit. Umpire blew very early there.
Yeah, good watchful defence from Beeston guys there. Ollie Willars kept his eye on that and tidied that up quite nicely. And this is where I think it's important that every time that they outlet that it works and is successful and takes the ball away from the Wimbledon attackers.
Proctor so close to mopping that up. In fact, he's involved again. He's appealing for something, and Wimbledon have the ball. Lawrence trying to do everything he can to block the aerial ball forward, and that has been nudged out of play. Beeston possession.
I don't think the Beeston defence will mind the aerials too much, but they just need to make sure that there's nobody in free space receiving that kind of a pass. I can hear Adam Dixon shouting there. He didn't think that was quite the right play for the phase of the game there. I think he'd rather seen that built up rather than thrown as an aerial. Again, all that space for Wimbledon to start again.
Another free hit on halfway towards the right-hand side, towards the baseline again. And that's the first penalty corner of the game.
Yeah, I think the minute you're starting to have to backtrack to make your defence, particularly when you've got somebody on the baseline on the right-hand side, then you've got to protect your feet, and Wimbledon have deliberately won a corner there.
Stick tackle is the word coming from spotter.
Yeah. All triggered because there was too much space for the player in the inside right channel. It wasn't closed down quickly enough, and it gave him all the room on that right hand side to work his way into the D.
Ed Haller, 8 penalty corner goals for the season. Ben Arnold and Jet Waller on 2 each. So you can see number 9, the shape of Ed Haller. Number 8, Ronan Harvey Kelly. Waiting for all the protection to be piled on for the Beeston defence. The sun has come out. Saying that with a bit of surprise.
Yes. Again, we said it last week, the number 1 runner's job here, very important.
Quickly to it. But stopped, and that is a defensive hit. Hudjwan, right place, right time again.
Good save again. obviously a lot of power on the flick there, and it's been stopped well by Simon Hudgren and then covered well by the defender, which is what's led to them getting the restart.
Professional use of the time from Beeston there. Joe Sharp thought about playing it. I don't think there was ever any intention he was going to play it. It was just to wipe a few more seconds off the game clock.
You see, I think Ollie Willars is tempted to go for the aerial because of the high press from Wimbledon. It's giving the ball back to them too quickly, really. Something that will make life difficult for Beeston.
Looking at the maths, I think it's fair to say that today's visitors have secured their place in the top 4.
I think that's certain, yes.
Who they'll play, though, isn't quite decided yet, but it feels like it probably will be Hampstead and Westminster.
I think so, yeah, I think that's probably right. So far this quarter, there's a lot of defensive work to be done by Beeston. It's found its way to that player on the baseline again.
Into the circle once more. Great endeavour from the Beeston defence, and they've given away a long corner. Umpire signal clear. Beeston thought they'd had the possession, but
they did.
Changing the angle of the attack through everybody, and it's out all the way through the other side. This has the feeling of the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Yes,
still got an awful lot of game to go.
Well, they've been quite lucky there, I think, because the missed trap by Joe Sharp in the D saw the ball off the back of the pitch, so that's given the restart to Beeston. And I think, look at the press from Wimbledon. It's very difficult to find a way through this, and without going to the aerial, I think, and that's what's been tempting Ollie Willars to do that.
Beeston have the ball over halfway. There is support, but it's all behind the point of the attack. And this is chasing impacts again from Beeston, from Wimbledon, but Beeston have it and play the ball down the left-hand side.
It's all very tight to the sideline.
Another interesting ball forward into space. Beeston really sharply getting the ball around, but it has been picked off. Wimbledon have possession. Wimbledon had a European adventure this year as well.
They did, that's right. It's the amount of space here, this is dangerous.
Ben Francis.
2 on 1.
Francis slides the ball in, give and go. Francis with a chance, and that's a very, very close thing indeed.
Well, you see, that was the commitment of Beeston going forward. You can't fault that, but somebody needs to keep an eye on a turnover with that much space, and the forwards, obviously 2 forwards very high there, just against a single defender, very difficult, and Beeston lucky not to have conceded a goal there.
I'm not saying that the Beeston goals led a charmed life today, but it's been protected well, and the 2 best opportunities haven't been put away.
No, they haven't. Wimbledon trying to build a super finish from that little phase of play. Probably, if they'd have probably gone for a strike early, they might have had more of a chance of scoring.
Good position this. Into the air, towards the circle. Small appeal. Wimbledon under pressure. 4 black shirts, and that they have the possession. I think Robbie Gleeson's appealing.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Beeston players felt that should have been their free hit.
And the pace and the space for Wimbledon. There is nobody to receive that ball in the middle.
No, it's
so quick.
Yeah, these high Wimbledon players, somebody should be calling that and making sure that they've not got quite as much space as they seem to be getting at the moment. Dangerous positions, particularly with no defenders around them at all.
You can see in the background of your picture we've got some particularly nasty looking clouds, which are resident in Nottingham. That's break off though. Wimbledon attack. Beeston defence did very well. Umpires thinking about feet, and yes, it has
I think
been.
there was one in there. It's
lifted into the defender is the word. I thought there were feet, but then I'm not as close to it.
No, Again, the speed with which Wimbledon build these attacks. Yes. Lucas Ward not quite low enough at the first point of defence, and that's what's led to the corner. I think the feeling is now it must be that there's at least sort of 60-40 possession in favour of Wimbledon, and that's going to lead to opportunities. It's going to come down to Beeston's ability to defend these corners, but I think the other side of it is if they can get their defence a little bit better organised, they can stop some of the build-up play from Wimbledon probably better than they are at the moment.
So we're on 2 penalty corners for Wimbledon. Muss's law of 3 might come into play here. Baller to the left of the centre. He strikes the ball, and it is saved. It's still not out of danger. The umpire is right on it here. Penalty corner.
Yeah, a bit trapped under Simon Hujwan, I think, there. He doesn't seem happy about something, so maybe he thought it was pushed under him and held there.
Yes, it was stuck in his pads is the word closest to it, and I think the case maybe he didn't have any choice. It wasn't his decision. So I think the ball was nudged. It seemed to be fairly free.
Yeah, it was fairly free, and that's I think the point that Simon's making there. He thought that that it was then subsequently pushed back under him rather than moved away for an opportunity to score.
Number 3.
Number 3. This is the worrying one.
Baller again with a slip ball out to the left-hand side, and he's saved by Hujwan. Still live though. And that is number 4.
Got to be careful with the feet when the ball's so tight to between the attacker and the defender. Really got to get low.
Nice routine. It's not overcomplicated. Intricate, but not overdoing it.
There's only so many rear wards on corners that you can handle, really, and it's a difficult thing to do, difficult skill. The number 1 runner's got to try and get in the way. It's quite clear that Wimbledon have got moves that they can use, so that creates uncertainty for the defence.
So let's see what happens here. Do they go for power? Do they go for the routine? It looks like it's power. It's been blocked, and that is another repeat penalty corner. Big spell of possession, and
4 on the bounce. That's you know, credit to Beeston for keeping it out so far, but the task gets tougher.
Let's have a quick look at that again. So when the ball came in, there's a little bit of a switch on the outside. It is Baller's attempt again, and it couldn't get much clearer than that, striking Ollie Willis. Ben
Well, there was a chance there. Ben Arnold looked like he'd gone in for a deflection, and Ollie had probably spotted that, stepped in the way, and ball hit him, and that's given the corner.
So here we go again.
Can we survive this one, Andy, I wonder?
Clock continuing to tick down. Baller again, blocked again, and Hujwan on target, and it is wide of the goal.
Well, great defensive work again. I mean, that's to sort of go through a barrage of 5 corners. Good practice, if nothing else.
What an effort. I think we're about we are just over 5 minutes away from half-time, and I think they've earned their half-time cuppa.
I think they could be forgiven for getting rid of this binarial, which is exactly what Ollie Willis has done, and it needs to go forward from here as well.
Beeston thinks he's found a foot, definitely has found a foot.
Just creating that little moment of for a breather in amongst all the corners they've had to defend. They could do with that, and now a period of possession would be the best thing.
Indeed. You've worked so hard as the home side to grab that advantage, grab that goal ahead.
Yes, yeah.
To concede now would be very demoralising.
You have to work hard to protect a lead like that against a side like Wimbledon, and you know, if they score a good goal, that's fair enough, but if it comes off the back of a mistake that could be avoided, that would be very disappointing.
I don't want to tempt fate here, but I'm going to see how
a bit of pressure here.
Wimbledon have only trailed once at half-time according to the stats provided by Colin Pike, and I'm reading them correctly. So unusual as this season goes.
Yes, yeah.
That ball is flung forward, but will be coming back.
Yeah, not quite taken from the right place, I don't think, but he was looking for the aerial again, but he's changed his mind, so the Beeston pressure comes on a bit. Like to see that a little bit more aggressive from Richard there. I think he can put that player under more pressure. As it happens, they've just played around those two forwards.
And here's a shooting opportunity for Wimbledon, and that is the equalising goal.
Yes, well, I mean, it's been coming really, to be honest, and these high Wimbledon players have had a lot of space. And, you know, sooner or later that's hard to defend, and there's the equaliser just before half-time.
Indeed, Ben Francis, we believe, is the goal scorer. Look at this opportunity, taking the goalkeeper out of the game and then composed popping the ball into the goal.
A bit of space here for Elliot Barton. He needs to put that somewhere dangerous.
And it is in the circle. There's a shooting chance here, and that is a second!
Super goal. Samapula.
Samapula with the goal. Terrific effort from him. Just what a response from Beeston.
Absolutely. I mean, probably within the same minute, is it that? Or
it's going to be very close. Samapula, first league goal of the season. He did score a hat-trick against City of Peterborough, but what a smile and what a fantastic finish on the left-hand side.
Yeah, just ran loose for him. He's done really well, though, because even though he managed to get that reverse stick shot off, it was very close to his feet. So just got the right angle on it, beating the keeper. And we're back with a 1-goal lead.
How about that? This is the game of the day. It certainly feels like it. Beeston haven't been particularly prolific in front of goal, and in games where you think they would score, they haven't.
Correct.
And this is a game that they're going to find difficult on paper, and they've scored 2.
I think the thing for me today with this game is knowing the quality of the opposition that Beeston face. It's to make sure that they cut down their errors, and they make sure that their unforced errors particularly are limited, because they can't afford to give those away.
That's controlled, it's been taken away though, and I think we've definitely got something a bit stronger than rain in the air. Guaranteed glorious weather always in this part of the world. I feel like I'm being chased by bad weather.
Yes. This is the part of the game where Beeston need to be strong. They've won it back, and they need to make sure that connection happens. Thankfully it's hit a foot so they can keep the ball.
Indeed, I think that's hail. I am a keen weather watcher, but that's, yeah, we've now got hail on the surface. You can see the players' footmarks on it. That's popped
That's
up.
a shame. That's an obvious intention to move it quickly forward from right back into the midfield zones, but obviously not executed the skill well enough there.
So less than 60 seconds to play. Early shout for your player of the match. Have a think during the second half at official BHC for your nominations of player of the match. It could be a Wimbledon player, it could be a Beeston player. Who stood out for you? Your nominations at official BHC, and they'll be in with a chance of winning the player of the match award. Sponsored by Roddy Wealth Management.
Good little indicator of how Beeston could win the ball back there. Chris Proctor was very close to the receiving Wimbledon player, didn't give him any room to work with, and was able to just put it onto his foot and take the possession back.
I'll be interested to see what direction the players run at half-time. Is it towards the benches, or will it be straight inside? Kept in play right at the edge of the circle.
Huge aerial from Adam Dixon. Samapula on the end of that found that difficult to control.
And that is your half-time. What a dramatic half, and what a couple of terrific goals.
Really enjoyable. That's been a great performance from Beeston in the face of what we knew from the start was going to be strong opposition. And to
get to quarter time. Indeed, let's have a quick look at the detail, match detail. Adam Dixon scoring first on the 11th minute. It wasn't quite the same minute, but it was within. It feels like it was within 1 minute. Ben Francis scoring for Wimbledon, equalising things for the away side, and Samapula pretty much going up the other end and firing the ball low into the goal for 2-1 at half-time. Very quickly, let's have a quick spin round the other games. Surbiton Brooklands, Manchester University. Surbiton are ahead by 3-0 in that one. All the other games yet to start. For the women, this is the way things are looking in the Investec Women's Premier Division. Earlier on today, Buckingham 0, Beeston 1. It's a 1-5. Hampstead and Westminster 2, Surbiton 3. Clifton Robinsons are drawing away 1-1 at Holcombe. Bowden Hightown 0, Birmingham University 1. Enormous goal in the context of the season there. And Loughborough Students 0, East Grinstead 3 is the latest score. They're approaching half-time there. So plenty of action, plenty of stories in your England Hockey Premier Division. You can see it's suddenly got very, very dark indeed. All the players have disappeared, and conditions ideal for spring hockey here at Nottingham Hockey Centre. Let's take you through the half-time highlights. We'll see you in about 7 minutes' time. Well won back by the visitors, and it's well stepped in, kept in play just in front of the cameras. Adam Dixon races forward with the ball. Is he going to go inside? He does. He's into the circle. Flicked in, and it is in. What a goal! Adam Dixon has given Beeston the lead. Wimbledon will come back strongly for sure. That's without any doubt. Mikey Hall lofts the ball. It's taken down. Strong run. That's another good save low to the goalkeeper's right. Simon Hujwan on.
Yeah, the pace of these. The amount of space here. This is dangerous.
Ben Francis.
2-on-1.
Francis slides the ball in. Give the give and go. Francis with a chance, and that's a very, very close thing indeed.
Well, you see that was the commitment of Beeston going forward.
We've got some particularly nasty-looking clouds, which are resident in Nottingham. Let's break off though. Wimbledon attack. Beeston defence did very well. Umpires thinking about feet, and yes, it has
I think
been.
there was one in there. It's
penalty corners for Wimbledon. Muss's law of 3 might come into play here. Haller to the left of the centre. He strikes the ball, and it is saved. It's still not out of danger. The umpire is right on it here. Penalty corner.
Yeah, a bit trapped under Simon Hujwan. I think moved away for an opportunity to score.
Number 3.
Number 3. This is the worrying one.
Haller again with a slip ball out to the left-hand side, and is saved by Hujwan. Still live though. And that is number 4.
Got to be careful with the feet when.
So let's see what happens here. Do they go for power? Do they go for the routine? It looks like it's power. It's been blocked, and that is another repeat penalty corner. Big, big spell of possession, and
4 on the bounce. That's credit to Beeston for keeping it out so far. We survived this one, Andy. I wonder.
Clock continuing to tick down. Haller again, blocked again, and Hujwan on target, and it is wide of the goal.
Well, great defensive work again. I mean, that's to sort of go through a barrage of 5. As it happens, they just played around those 2 forwards.
And here's a shooting opportunity for Wimbledon, and that is the equalising goal.
Yes, well, I mean, it's been coming really, to be honest, and these high Wimbledon players have had a lot of space. A bit of space here for Elliot Barton. He needs to put that somewhere dangerous.
And it is in the circle. There's a shooting chance here, and that is a second.
Super goal. Samapula.
Samapula with the goal. Terrific effort from him. What a response from Beeston. A very warm welcome back to BeeTV. Beeston will be getting the second half underway. This is live Premier Division hockey. Beeston are leading Wimbledon by 2-1. And somehow it's gone sunny again. That's the most important takeaway from half time. Steve Musson is sitting beside me in the chapel here at Nottingham Hockey Centre. What do you reckon the messages were for the two teams?
Well, I think Wimbledon will certainly be keen to make sure that they're a little bit more assertive in the D, because they've been there many times. They tried to pass one of the goals into the net, and when it could probably have been hit, so I think they'll be wanting that. And of course, they've had a barrage of short corners. From Beeston's point of view, they've got to be careful they don't give those corners away. And also, they need to make sure that they can cover these high Wimbledon forwards who've been free on too many occasions.
Jack Waller with a good run forward, intercepted in defence, and that's sharp, but not too sharp from Beeston, just beyond 26 Elliot Barton. Wimbledon have it on the right-hand side, looking to get into the circle at every opportunity, potentially get a penalty corner. No, umpire whistles to his lips and says it's gone out on the full Beeston ball.
Yeah, just a little moment there, the ball with Joe Sharp at the edge of Beeston's D. Didn't make his connection to the midfield player, and it got a bit risky, so those are things they've got to take care of. They've obviously talked about outletting because it's been difficult to get the ball into the midfield for Beeston, so play down either flank for them, but they have to make sure they release that ball forwards early.
From Wimbledon, Dylan Swampole, who was on the left-hand side in the first half, is now on the right-hand side for Wimbledon. That's just behind a player in a good position.
Can't help feeling there was a much better, more secure way of dealing with that then. That's just been smacked off the side of the pitch, and that's not very helpful when you're trying to retain possession.
Play carries on. Across defence, quickly forward over halfway. Ben Tibble in possession. It's gone backwards.
Yeah, one thing Beeston can't afford to do is to drop off the work rate that was in that first half. It needs to be at a high level.
Blumfield does well, shepherds the ball forward. I think he might receive the ball in a second, Beeston. Yes, it does. Blumfield taps it to the left-hand side.
Bit of care needed again. That's hit him on the foot, I think, really. Just watch what you're doing in those situations. It's a good build-up.
Henry Crofter towards the bottom left of your picture, scoring a week ago. Or 2 weeks ago against Holcombe. Ball popped up into the air. Robbie Gleeson under intense pressure on the sideline.
He didn't look particularly secure on the ball there.
Wimbledon through to a shot on goal opportunity here. Mass defence in the way, and my word, what a solid effort in defence that was for Beeston.
They've done well there. Simon Hudge ran off his line and wide of the post, so defensively it was necessary, but it's these turnovers that are costly. Time and time again, it's been given back to Wimbledon.
And that, fortunately for Beeston, has drifted off the field of play. And they have a defensive hit. How dangerous do Wimbledon look? I think they're the most dangerous team I've seen this season sat in this chair.
It's just been that final shot or tap-in that's missed by them so far, but very early warning signs in this half for Beeston, how quickly that can come against you if you give the ball away too easily.
I think we're just making sure that the clocks are all aligned on the field of play, and we're back off and running.
Yeah, Wimbledon very good at winning that ball on those wide positions.
does very, very well, wins the loose ball on the halfway. Henry Croft surges forward, he's got options, he's gone towards the right-hand side, he's in the circle, he gets buffeted, and that's a free hit for Beeston, just outside the edge of the circle.
Yeah,
How
Henry
close was that?
Yeah, Henry was very close to getting himself space on the edge of the D. I thought he was winding up for a shot there, but the tackle came in and just upset his rhythm a bit. Good position for Beeston.
Going back to come forward, Beeston. So Dixon in possession now, rolls the ball in towards the circle.
Well
Wimbledon
defended.
do a good job of mopping that up, though.
Yeah, you don't want your forwards making it too easy for defences to get out, so just stepping in there and getting hit on the foot is not the best way of doing it, really, and it's left a lot of space for Wimbledon here. Another one of their attacks.
So quickly forward, there's an appeal for a penalty corner, and they've got it.
That's taken about 7 seconds from a strong position for Beeston to a penalty corner for Wimbledon, and that's the sort of pace that Wimbledon can inject into the game, and it's where Beeston needs to take care. Wimbledon too easily through the Beeston defender there.
From the point we picked it up, and that was a third of the pitch away, I did count, that was 9 seconds.
Was it? Right, yeah.
From the whistle being blown to where the ball was picked up on the three-quarter line. So dangerous. So the Bees looking to defend penalty corner number 7, if my arithmetic is doing what it needs to do.
Always look at the trigger point of these kind of attacks, and you know, having possession in the opposition's 25 close to their baseline and then conceding a penalty corner within that space of time means it's gone through a lot of Beeston players. Not enough care taken on the defensive duties.
Johnny Codling has the armband around him. Ed Haller resting on his stick there, waiting for the delivery of the ball. Tall fella, Ed Haller. Big levers, I think the phrase is.
Yes.
Bit of a shuffle to the right. It's not going to be Haller. It is, and that's another strong save from Simon Hujwan.
Yeah, he's done really well today. He seems to be seeing quite a lot of the shots and flicks very well. Hope he stays like that for the rest of the half.
So what we've not seen is a Wimbledon shot on goal that's really troubled by, obviously he's had to be in the right place at the right time. That's a big appeal, and that is a penalty corner.
Yeah, I think the restart very quick from Wimbledon. The Beeston player who initiated the defence stepped back. Ollie Willard stepped in too soon for the umpire's liking. These are those unforced errors we're talking about there. Robbie Gleeson's still in the way, and then Ollie Willard's too close to the forward.
Yep, alert, but a little bit too alert.
Yeah.
So, at the risk of not having written it down, it's a penalty corner number 8 for Wimbledon. So around the edge of the circle, we've got 6 contenders.
I was going to say, if Beeston are going to get anything out of this game, they're going to have to keep defending these corners.
Phil Roper taking a step back. He's the second figure to the left on your screen. I suspect he's going to be involved in this one because he does have a good record, Phil Roper.
Yeah.
Let's see what he... swatting Mikey Hall. Big chat with number 9 Ed Haller and 15 Phil Roper. My suspicion it will be Roper. Let's see what actually happens. That's a bit of a mistrap.
Yeah. Where's the Beeston forwards getting back into that?
It's still live. It's bounced off a player in the air. Play carries on. In fact, no, play's been now stopped. Beeston free hit. Roper was winding up to give that everything.
Yes. You know, you don't see what the forwards are doing when you're watching the penalty corners, but it's very important that they get back into action quickly. So there's always be heading back towards the defence the minute that ball's injected.
Kept in play, tapped around, and that's good. Oh, so close to being kept in by Toby Stanley. had a quiet first half, Toby Stanley.
He did, yeah, that's right. It's nice to see him getting involved. Just a little bit more skill on his part. Could have kept that on the pitch, but it appears that he's got the free hit anyway.
Lifted out to the right-hand side, tapped up into the air, controlled.
This is where you want the ball holding up.
To the baseline, into the sunlight. That's it, it's a Wimbledon defensive hit.
You do want that ball to remain with your forwards for slightly longer each time, because otherwise you're constantly having to drop back into defensive roles, which gets very tiring. A lot of the use of the aerial today.
Indeed, and I'm sure given the conditions, it's not good to look into the sky, because the sun, when it is out, is very bright. Into play on the right-hand side for Wimbledon, looking to find a route through towards the circle. A lot of Beeston players trying to block the way, looking for that ball across the face of goal. Hudge involved again, Willars is down. A defensive free hit.
Yeah, dangerous moments again, that ball could go anywhere, but hopefully Beeston have got themselves in the way of that. Very difficult to get past Wimbledon's press in midfield. They've picked the ball up off Beeston players time and time again.
Sometimes you get a match which lasts forever. This match seems to have been going for 5 minutes. This is one of those that, if I didn't have other things to do, I'd gladly watch this all day.
Yes. And we've talked a lot about Beeston turning the ball over, but it's not easy against an organised side like Wimbledon with good players. They close you down quickly. They're good on the receipt of the ball and tackling. And
Reece Smith involved here. Number 22 goes one way and the other. The ball into the circle is good. That's a decent step in defence from Matthew Cruikshanks, and Beeston come away with it.
Yeah, I think at least if the outlet there in a speedy way to Chris Proctor, then he does hold the ball quite nicely. Now the time to settle a bit and make sure that the next few passes are from Beeston to Beeston players. That's not good enough. That really is not good enough in those kind of positions.
I think that's a let-off for the Beeston defence there, because that pass, if it was to another white shirt,
yes,
could have been real danger.
You must know yourself that you've done something a bit ridiculous there, and I just hope that the players are working out that they've got to be better and more precise on the balls. Another situation building here. How do they get away without turning this over?
That's 5 white shirts and 2 dark shirts. Fortunately, Beeston have come away with the ball. I'm not entirely sure how. And that's another sloppy pass out of defence, and that potentially is not very good at all. Now, what exactly happened there? Was that a stick? Okay, so the 2 players, a bit of a bump, nothing more than that, but I'm sure number 17 for Wimbledon, that'll be is Johnny Codling. Okay, it sounds like we'll have a bit of a bully for the restart, but 2 teams are going to come together. Now that shirt I saw was 17, Johnny Codling is down on the floor.
Ben Arnold, yeah.
Well, I don't have a number 17 on my match day sheet, which is interesting.
You see, you have to look at the just a moment here.
Loose in the circle, and that is the equalising goal for Wimbledon. They have done it.
You see,
Ben Arnold is the goal scorer.
Yeah. I mean, we're just saying, weren't we, how much care is needed to take this ball away, and the pass that led to this restart, so unnecessary.
Umpires having a bit of a discussion over there, so the clock is off at the moment. 2-2 is the score. Ben Arnold, the equalising goal scorer for Wimbledon. It seemed to be so easy
Yes, it did, and I think you know, all the control was with Beeston at that point, but they didn't execute their passes well enough, and it was very easy for Wimbledon to get back on it. There's another one there.
So in the first half, Beeston conceded a goal and very quickly went ahead again. Is this what they're looking to do here? Well, that's a strong stick to block progress towards the goal. And that is out of play. Beeston can start and get a little bit of a head of steam. In your picture, Joe Sharp quickly gets things going. Thinks about going into the circle, gives you back to Morgan Males. Males goes back to halfway. It's the shape of Willars. Opts to go to the right. It's travelled a long way. Has been picked off, but at the expense of a free hit for Beeston. Wimbledon setting up their defence very quickly indeed. That's flicked towards the circle. It's another Beeston free hit. In towards us. Player down, player down. Big call from Elliot Barton. He thinks that there was something in there.
Some foul in there that the neither we or the umpire saw. But that's the first time Beeston have actually built up with using transfer play higher up the pitch, and nearly led to an opportunity for them. This is where they want to be playing the game if possible.
Tapped out of play, Morgan Males. Reece Smith thought about playing it, opts to give it back to Ben Tibble. Tibble goes a long way with a pass, does find a teammate. Switched around, Lawrence looks up and does find a teammate. Running with it, Joe Sharp. Joe Sharp checks once, lays it off. That's a bit risky, but it's working so far for Beeston as they progress down the field through the middle of the park. Running with it.
Yeah, I think Gareth Griffiths might have just kicked the ball.
It's come a long way towards the baseline. Can't really see through that crowd of players. The ball flashes through and nudged out towards the right-hand side. Free hit for Wimbledon.
Yeah, he said, don't quite understand why that can't be released as a pass rather than some reverse stick kind of hit. Needs to be better control and body shape. Lucas Ward just giving that ball away and the pressure's back on again.
Long corner. Feels like a long time since you've had one of those.
Yes.
Next break in play will be three-quarter time at 52.5 minutes. Whipped out of harm's way.
You need to feel a little bit backs against the wall at the moment, and need somebody to control this ball and take it away safely. Wimbledon having a lot of space to build up their attacks.
Wimbledon building again, look to go in towards the circle with a spin, and it's a free hit for the home side.
No corners for Beeston yet. It's one of the areas that they might think about deliberately trying to manufacture a corner if they can get into Wimbledon's D.
Up into the air we go again. Who's underneath it? It's going to be a Wimbledon free hit.
A defender put under too close pressure, and it's blown in his favour. Difficult for the Beeston forwards when tracking across to get close to the Wimbledon players.
Stepping in, Robbie Gleeson does very well. Just been won back from Wimbledon.
Nicely done by Wimbledon.
So close to an interception. Over halfway, the visitors go. And that first time ball is picked off. Approaching three-quarter time, 52.5 minutes will need to be on the clock. Once again, if you'd like to suggest your nomination for player of the match, tweet us at officialBHC. We'll have a look at them and then we'll decide who has won your player of the match.
Very clever play by Wimbledon to win that back there. They've just pressed towards the side of the pitch. Nowhere for Beeston to go. Certainly couldn't make any infield passes. Had to go down the line and it went off the pitch. All manufactured by Wimbledon's work rate and shape.
Should be a long corner. There it is. Wimbledon progressing again into the circle. Chance at goal. And it's straight through the other side.
Well, a quarter to go, Andy, and
indeed, and we are off for three-quarter time. It's a strange quarter because Beeston probably looked the best out of the three quarters we had so far in that third quarter, but at the same time they conceded a goal which they probably shouldn't have. Adam Dixon, just reminding you of the scoring sequence. Beeston scoring first in the 11th, 32. Ben Francis popped up with the equaliser. Samapola grabbing Beeston with a nice finish to make it 2-1. Ben Arnold 2-2 on 48. So we've got 17.5 minutes to play. A quick look at some of the other games which are in progress. Surbiton are now 5-0 up with the whole quarter to play against Brooklands Manchester University. As we're watching, it's Beeston 2, Wimbledon 2. Quick look at the women's matches which are on today as well. Buckingham 0, Beeston 1. Terrific result for the Bees on the road today. And Courtney Chanel's goal, the difference. Hampstead and Westminster 2, Surbiton 3. Holcombe 1, Clifton Robinson's 1 is a final score. They're into the very, very final knockings at Bowden, Birmingham University, where the away side have the lead, and it's Loughborough Students 0, East Grinstead 4. So we'll do the maths, and hopefully while we're on the air, work out the position at the bottom of those divisions. So Beeston 2, Wimbledon 2. Beeston can't really throw caution to the wind here.
No, they'll want to. They certainly won't want to concede another one. And so the question is, do they go to try and get a win off Wimbledon, or are they going to try and protect the point that they've got at the moment against a very good side? One thing they certainly can't afford to do, as they did when they've conceded that eventual equaliser from Ben Arnold, is just to pass the ball into the midfield and see it turned over very easily, because that's cost them.
So Beeston 2, Wimbledon 2, fourth and final quarter underway here at what turns out to be quite a sunny Nottingham Hockey Centre. We've had literally everything today. We've had strong wind, we've had rain, we've had snow. Build an arc is the weather advice as well.
Yeah, nice little build up there down the right. But nice to have seen Beeston's first corner out of that. They could do with winning a penalty corner from one of their attacks, just to settle things down, have a bit of a moment, have a look at the goal.
Mentioning penalty corners, I can't recall Beeston having that. Is that
no, that's right, so they haven't. I mean, if you think about it, they're probably going to have 2 or 3 deep penetrations in this quarter. You'd like to think that one of the forwards might use a deliberate attempt to win a corner as an opportunity to give them a shot on goal.
Also wipe a few seconds off the game clock as well. That's come off the foot.
A number of times Beeston players have closed down the receiving player well, but they've not done it with the right body shape and have not been low enough, and it's been easy for Wimbledon to just flick it onto a foot.
Towards the right hand side, that's a little bit of miscontrol, and that's through all the way for a defensive free hit. Another push for your player of the match. Tweet us at @officialBHC for your nominations and suggestions for player of the match. Who stood out for you? At the moment, Simon Hudgwan is possibly leading the way. I do like a goalkeeper getting player of the match because he's a couple of very good saves at timely moments. But anything can happen. We've still got plenty of time still to play.
It's a good transfer from Beeston there, but Wimbledon wise to the deflected pass forward, have stepped in nicely and taken that, and now it's back with them. Beeston faced with having to try and win this back again, which has been difficult for them to do. A lot of space there on the left.
distance. Goes towards the circle, bounces a few times. That was a bit of a dangerous thing, and that's what...
Hit a foot on the way through, I think.
Towards the baseline, in the circle again. 6 flying in. Defensive hit for Beeston. Right, I asked this question a week ago, and we did get one. Are we going to get another goal?
Well, I think if Beeston are to get a goal, it's probably going to come from a corner, but they've got to work hard to try and win one of those, and of course they haven't done that yet, so depends how they're approaching this final quarter. Wimbledon very aggressive in winning the ball back.
Beeston over halfway. Goal scorer Abula in your picture.
Forward starting to become key in the game now, because if the ball is taken forward for Beeston, it's got to be held up there. Can't afford for it to keep coming flying back on them too quickly. Very close to the Wimbledon forward, that transfer there. Good position, but it's all down to how this ball's passed around. You can see Wimbledon trying to interfere with any kind of transfer across the pitch by stepping in between the players.
2 Beeston players over on the far side, almost getting in each other's way, but it's worked out okay at the moment. Possession building for Beeston. They've tried to transfer it across the back and through the middle,
That's
but
not
it's
the
been
ball.
picked off. And players in white streaming forward here. Options to the left, and that's just out of control.
See, there was only really one pass for Beeston when they turned that ball over, and that was out to the flank. They chose to play it through the midfield, and the running, leading forward wasn't looking, and it went back to Wimbledon. They've been very lucky to get away with that.
"57 minutes complete in this Premier Division match. Beeston 2, Wimbledon 2, live on BeeTV. Wherever you're watching this in the world, do say hello.
You can see the dilemma that Beeston players are facing in these situations, that there was literally no way out there for, I think it was Robbie Gleeson on the ball. He couldn't find a pass, and with a self-pass restart, he couldn't find a route through either. So Wimbledon making life very difficult for Beeston at the moment.
Long corner, clearly indicated from the umpire. Back to in position, Jack Waller.
Look at that ball across the apex of the D. It's just fortunate that that's
certainly gone Beeston's way.
Ollie Willard's going to the aerials again.
Nice ball forward, nice take. Now where's the support? And that's
Oh.
just beyond the on-rushing Sam
Absolutely
Abula.
no reason whatsoever for Henry Croft to rush that. He could have sat on that ball for a minute. It's those sorts of things that you find with younger players, a sort of a level of experience that tells you when to make passes, when not to make passes, and Henry's rushed that one.
Trying to use the full distance of the field. Beeston sideline ball. All 3 outcomes still possible here.
The choices there, none on again, and very difficult. Wimbledon putting lovely barriers in place, and gives them the possession time and time again.
Long corner is what's been indicated here. Nice sweep of the arm.
Such a level of concentration needed by defenders here. You can see them running around in the D, trying to track the lead forwards from Wimbledon.
Huge movement, trying to create as much chaos as they possibly can. Good stick on it though, being brought out of harm's way of Willars. That's a decent pass.
Yeah,
into
good hand
midfield.
speed from Chris Proctor, good power, getting that ball away.
Proctor sweeps it onwards, and that's a
Well,
very, very timely and important interception in the Wimbledon defence.
Yep, saw Sam Apula free. If that had got past that last defender, that could have been an opportunity. Look at the work rate needed there. Henry Croft flagging a little bit, and no barrier.
Gleeson stepping in well. Players
Basics they're missing.
really trying to put everything on the line.
2 instances of poor basics has given Wimbledon the ball again.
Reverse pass, which has been watched out of play. This has been a very solid hour's worth of play, and I'll tell you what, I'm now going to make a decision here. Wimbledon are the best away team I've seen here this season.
Yes. You just hope that the Beeston guys are talking amongst themselves and trying to encourage each other to make good passes and not to give that ball away. Chris Proctor in a tight area here.
Proctor under pressure. Wimbledon come away with it. Proctor again tries to find a way and does.
The only thing I would say about this pressure from Wimbledon is if Beeston can actually get out of this high press, there will be space.
Indeed, and that's what's trying to be found here. That's been plucked out of the air though. A few moments ago the ball towards Apula, if
yes.
that had worked, that's a perfect example. Wimbledon looking to go through the middle. Important touch and long corner. It wasn't kept in. There were opportunity there to possibly watch it go out of play. However, when you're being pressured.
Yeah, Wimbledon dangerous again here. And a penalty corner. This is deliberate build-up by Wimbledon to create these opportunities, either goal scoring or corners, and they've done it very well there.
So we've seen, I think this is number 9, penalty corner. We've had 3 lots of Muss's Law coming to play.
Richard Lawrence there completely caught out, not low enough, has let that ball be progressed onto the high forward when he could have actually stepped right in the line of that and stopped that happening.
So who have we got dotted around the edge of the circle? Reece Smith, number 22, resting on his stick at the moment. Number 12, Ian Sloan. 15, Phil Roper. Number 9, the unmistakable figure of Ed Haller. So those are the 4 players that we're looking at the moment. Earlier on, Roper was in more or less the same position, looking to smack one. Let's see what it can do this time. I suspect it will be number 15 it's going towards. It's not, it's Haller, and that's another terrific low save from Simon Hojwan in the Beeston goal.
Great save, yeah. Now come on, Beeston, you need to get hold of this ball. It sounds like I'm being critical of Beeston for turning the ball over, and that's not strictly the case. It's so much of this is because of the pressure that Wimbledon exert on you as a unit and as individuals. It's very difficult to find ways out. We have the situation again here. Wally Willard's using the aerial because it's really the only way he can get past those initial players.
Indeed, can't play through, go over the top. A little bit of a quick trying to snap the ball back from Beeston's forwards here. Griffiths closest to it, and wonder if the players have got enough energy to see out this.
Yeah, 1 or 2 of Beeston's players looking a bit tired on the forward line now.
Out towards the right-hand side, picking it up, Tom Barrett.
Yeah, maybe a chance of a couple of times there for a Beeston player to step in, but as they get more and more tired, it's harder to use your energy for those jabs. It's found its way out again.
A lot of space, finding the pass. Just a simple movement forward or backwards creates that space.
Yes. Almost looks like Wimbledon have got an extra player all the time, and it's because of their movement, their willingness to get high.
6 minutes left, according to the BeeTV match clock. Beeston 2, Wimbledon 2. You are watching BeeTV. An enthralling game here on a Saturday afternoon.
Look at that man there.
In the circle again. Wimbledon go. That's a slide towards the goal. It's still live. Hojwan out with the pads and plays it out.
It's all very desperate last-minute stuff at the moment, and
you say last minute. There's another 5.5 at this.
Yes, dearie me.
That's popped up a stick, and Beeston could take the ball here. Real desperate stuff, and that's worked out quite well. However, play's going to be pulled back.
I'm not quite sure what that was for, in actual fact. Beeston players not even allowed to settle on the ball themselves. They're very quickly closed down. This is almost like a power play coming from Wimbledon now. Everything happening in Beeston's half. Defenders can't get anything on the ball.
Indeed. Not trying to make a comic point here. We've not seen the Wimbledon goalkeeper for a long time, and that is James Bailey. He's still in the goal, so Wimbledon do have 10 outfielders and a goalkeeper, just for your reference.
Yeah, it's nice to see him stick around for the last few minutes of the game. Otherwise he's not got a lot to do. Well, this is again where we were a few minutes ago with Beeston on the ball. Got to try and find a way out, and loads of pressure from Wimbledon, so we'll see how they cope with this one.
Being played through the middle. Things are starting to stick here. That's a shepherded ball just behind number 17, Richard Lawrence.
What space Richard Lawrence was in there. If only that pass could have been directed straight to him.
4 passes to almost a shooting opportunity.
Yeah.
It can be done. It can be done. 4 minutes to play. Beeston still do not have, on the record books, a penalty corner attempt. Wimbledon, I think, have had 9 now. 2-2.
Well, we saw how painful it was last week, Andy, for Exeter to concede right at the end of the game, and I think that would be a terrible thing for Beeston to have to deal with, but they need to show a little bit more possession. Good skills, Alex Bloomfield.
Yep, doing very well here. There's 2 players out on the left, and this could be... Did that find a foot? It did find a foot. 3 hits over.
Yeah, they think Beeston think that was an absolutely deliberate prawn. It might have been, but he's outside the 25. So what better now than to retain this possession for 2 or 3 minutes?
Yep. So if you were in charge of the Beeston team, obviously now you're going for goal. Ooh, long corner.
They do need to upgrade this.
Dixon on the ball, assesses his options. Could go right, could go straight towards the circle. He's opted to go back. Robbie Gleeson has possession now. Gleeson low and hard. And the possession is being turned over.
A little bit easy.
And that will go an awful long way. So with the ball in the positions it's in, if you were in charge of the Beeston team now, would you say, I'm happy for a point, sit on the ball? Would you still think there's a chance of a win in there?
Well, you can combine the two, because one of the best places to be now is in the opposition's half, so I'd still be looking to try and get a winner. Very slightly risky from Robbie Gleeson there. Could have turned that over, but Adam Dixon was in close watch on that.
Dixon flicks the ball. It's been intercepted in the air. Ben Tibble has it.
Ooh.
Now things could open up here. Who's closest to it?
That was such an opportunity. A little bit more body speed. Might have got that for a shot. Chris Proctor.
Yes, he's done extremely well here. So who's going to have that final attack of the game? Beeston taking it too quickly. I think that came off the back of a player. Big appeals. Does seem to be a little bit unstructured there. In the
Absolutely, but I think Beeston, I was going to say, I think Beeston felt there was definitely a foot, a stick tackle possibly in there. They need to take their time now. Yeah, look at the clock.
It was a foot, we're hearing. Proctor very quickly out to the left-hand side.
Corner would be nice now, wouldn't it?
They do have a free hit. I think that hit a foot just on the far side of the picture. So Proctor, they did it a week ago. 3D skills in towards the circle. There's a player down. It's just in front of the goal, and that is the first penalty corner for Beeston.
Now there's 2 good things about this. One is the clock is going to disappear.
Yes, also clock stopped, by the way, just to have your attention, everyone. Umpires about to have a bit of a discussion.
Could this be another Exeter moment, Andy, I wonder?
Indeed. Well, let's firstly review the reason for the penalty corner. So Proctor goes flying to the ground. Ball still in front of the goalkeeper. Huge appeals. Henry Croft right on top of things there.
Yes, I think that's hit the number 16, whoever that is. I can't got a picture from here, but I think it hit his foot.
Dylan Swanpool is the player at number 16. So clock continues to be stuck at 57 seconds to go. Umpires coming over for a consultation.
It's hard to understand
It is
why they would
definitely a
change their
penalty
decision.
corner.
Yeah, because
Definitely a penalty corner. So Beeston haven't opted to go for everybody. There's still 57 seconds to play. 7 up, including the injector. Gleeson are looking to be injecting.
I wonder if Chris Proctor's going to go for that, try and go for that defence again. Adam Dixon on
Clock
the right
running.
castle.
Is this the grandstand finish? Dixon slips it back, play towards the goal. It's loose, it's low. Repeat penalty corner.
Well, that nearly fell for Samapula with an open shot. It was, I don't think the injection was quite quick enough on that last one. It could have done with coming out a bit swifter.
Well, let's look at it again. So it went out to Dixon, managed to take one runner out but not the other, and the Pula's shot was into the perfect space.
Yeah.
I don't think he could have done anything different or better for that one. So
To be fair to Wimbledon, they read that slip well because there was somebody right in front of Morgan Males.
understanding that this will be the final play of the game. So, at the very least, it'll be Wimbledon 2 on the score sheet. Will it be Beeston 3? Dixon, low. It's been tapped in for a winner from Beeston. What about that right at the end?
Again, I can't believe that.
Wow, wow, wow. Let's get on with the replay quickly and we can talk it through it. So the ball very quickly played very quickly out, and that was that faster play out. Dixon low, and then tapped in by 22 Samapula for his second of the game.
Brilliant.
Terrific. Will we restart? We do restart.
Well,
and that is the final whistle. Cheers
Wonderful.
around. And Beeston 3, Wimbledon 2 is the final score. What about that 2 weeks in a row? This
Excellent.
never happens here, but it's happened twice in a week.
It has.
Congratulations from the players, and that was well appreciated from all the, I think, shake of the head there
yes.
from a couple of the Wimbledon players. And I'll say it again, they are the best away side I have seen this season.
I agree.
But it is Beeston that will have all 3 points. Your umpires David Munger and Mark Everard shaking hands with the teams. What about that?
Continuing on with the weather theme, talk about weathering a storm. That's what Beeston have had to do all afternoon. And that's amazing how that's come out as a Beeston victory.
I've just heard in my ear, absolutely confirmed that is a Samapula brace today.
Yes.
And so, do we revise player of the match? We'll have a look at the rest of the results and the rest of the goings on. In fact, we'll get this match's detail up first and talk you through it. Adam Dixon scoring first on 11 minutes. Lovely finish high into the roof of the net. Ben Francis equalising for Wimbledon. Beeston stung into action, replying from Samapula. Wimbledon equalising through Ben Arnold. That was from open play, really quick and slick move, that one in the forward attack. And then Samapula converting a penalty corner right at the very end of the game. So a brace for Samapula today. First 2 league games of the season, 2 league goals of the season. Hampstead and Westminster, Wimbledon, only their 3rd defeat of the season today.
Yeah. Well, as you say, difficult to pick a player of the game out of that, but I can't fault Simon Hudgran's defensive work today in goal. I thought he was excellent. So,
okay, so if we can have a quick look at the other games which are going on in the men's competition. Surbiton have put 7 past Brooklands Manchester University this afternoon. Big win for them. 44 points with a goal difference of 64 in the table from Surbiton. As we've been watching, Beeston 3, Wimbledon 2. Got a bit carried away by reading the list. Hampstead and Westminster 0, Exeter University 0. They have just begun that game. Later on today, Old Georgians and East Grinstead, Holcombe versus Reading. And a quick look at the women's table and standings as well. Earlier on today, a terrific win on the road for Beeston. And that's another goal from Courtney Chanel. little bit of a star find for Beeston.
Yeah,
Hampstead and
absolutely.
Westminster 2, Surbiton 3. A result: Holcombe 1, Clifton Robinsons 1, Bowden Hightown 0, Birmingham University 2. It was 0-1 for a long period in that game. 2-0 the final score. Loughborough Students 0, East Grinstead 6. So a couple of big wins today, but surely from a yellow and black point of view, the biggest wins of all came on the road at Buckingham and right here at Nottingham Hockey Centre as well. Next BeeTV is on Saturday the 7th, where the women entertain us all versus East Grinstead. That one is a later start, 4 o'clock pushback next Saturday. The men are in town again Sunday the 8th versus Surbiton, which I'm sure, if this game was anything to go by, means it's going to be an absolute corker as well. So that's men Sunday the 8th at 2 p.m. versus Surbiton. Women next on BeeTV, East Grinstead 4 p.m. Saturday the 7th. Mus, it's been a pleasure.
Brilliant, great, enjoyed every minute of that.
And that is from us on BeeTV. The next game is moments away on the field of play, so we'll leave everyone to get on with what they need to do there. But what a terrific day in what appears to be glorious sunshine. You've been watching BeeTV for Premier Division hockey in England. It's finished here. Beeston 3, Wimbledon 2. Well won back by the visitors, and well stepped in, kept in play just in front of the cameras. Adam Dixon races forward with the ball. Is he going to go inside? He does. He's into the circle, flicked it, and it is in. What a goal! Adam Dixon has given Beeston the lead. Wimbledon will come back strongly for sure. That's without any doubt. Mikey Hall lofts the ball. It's taken down. Strong run. That's another good save, low to the goalkeeper's right. Simon Hujwan on.
Yeah, the pace of these. The amount of space here, this is dangerous.
Ben Francis.
2-on-1.
Francis slides the ball in, give the give and go. Francis with a chance, and that's a very, very close thing indeed.
Well, you see, that was the commitment of Beeston going forward.
We've got some particularly nasty looking clouds, which are resident in Nottingham. That's break off though. Wimbledon attack. Beeston defence did very well. Umpires thinking about feet, and yes, it has
I think
been.
there was one in there. It's
penalty corners for Wimbledon. Muss's law of 3 might come into play here. Haller to the left of the centre. He strikes the ball, and it is saved. It's still not out of danger. The umpire is right on it here. Penalty corner.
Yeah, a bit trapped under Simon Hujwan. I think moved away for an opportunity to score.
Number 3.
Number 3. This is the worrying one.
Haller again with a slip ball out to the left-hand side. And is saved by Hujwan. Still live though. And that is number 4.
Got to be careful with the feet when.
So let's see what happens here. Do they go for power? Do they go for the routine? It looks like it's power. It's been blocked, and that is another repeat penalty corner. Big, big spell of possession, and
4 on the bounce. That's credit to Beeston for keeping it out so far. We survived this one, Andy. I wonder.
Clock continuing to tick down. Haller again, blocked again, and Hujwan on target, and it is wide of the goal.
Well, great defensive work again. I mean, that's to sort of go through a barrage of 5. As it happens, they just played around those 2 forwards.
And here's a shooting opportunity for Wimbledon, and that is the equalising goal.
Yes, well, I mean, it's been coming really, to be honest, and these high Wimbledon players have had a lot of space. A bit of space here for Elliot Barton. He needs to put that somewhere dangerous.
And it is in the circle. There's a shooting chance here, and that is a second.
Super goal. Samapula.
Samapula with the goal. Terrific effort from him. What a response from Beeston.
You see, you have to look at the just a moment here.
Loose in the circle, and that is the equalising goal for Wimbledon. They have done it.
You see,
Ben Arnold is the goal scorer.
Yeah.
Opportunity there to possibly watch it guide and
Yes,
play. However, when you're being pressured.
Yeah, Wimbledon dangerous again here. And a
that is
penalty
another
corner. This is deliberate build-up by Wimbledon to create these opportunities, either goal scoring or corners. And
earlier on, Roper was in more or less the same position, looking to smack one. Let's see what it can do this time. I suspect it will be number 15 it's going towards. It's not, it's Haller, and that's another terrific low save from Simon Hujwan in the Beeston
great
goal.
save, yeah.
BeeTV match clock. Beeston 2, Wimbledon 2. You are watching BeeTV, an enthralling game here on a Saturday afternoon.
Look at that man there.
In the circle again, Wimbledon go. That's a slide towards the goal. It's still live. Hujwan out with the pads and plays it out.
It's all very...
They did it a week ago. 3D skills in towards the circle. There's a player down. It's just in front of the goal, and that is the first penalty corner for Beeston.
Now, there's two good things about this. One is the clock is going to disappear.
Yes, also clock stopped, by the way.
I wonder if Chris Proctor's going to go for that, try and go for that defence again. Adam Dixon on the right
running.
castle.
Is this the grandstand finish? Dixon slips it back, played towards the goal. It's loose, it's low. Repeat penalty corner.
Well, that nearly fell for Samapula with
2 on the score sheet. Will it be Beeston 3? Dixon, low. It's been tapped in for a winner from Beeston. What about that right at the end?
Again, I can't believe that.